I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 414th episode of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate is at the controls, making sure everything is working smoothly, at least for the moment. So she may dip out here in a moment and come back or whatever. So if we temporarily stop putting up comments and then come back or whatever, just bear with us. We'll deal with it, but everything should be going smoothly. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for not being here last night. Listen, in all honesty, we're kind of in the weird flux. This is kind of what happens during this off year. There's no major elections to talk about, and sometimes there are periods where I could have jumped on and talked last night. I could have talked a little bit about what we're going to be talking about tonight. And then it would have been like half of a show last night and half of a show tonight. And so instead of doing that, we just took the night off last night and celebrated my dad's birthday, celebrated Alva's dad's birthday. Who knew that my dad and Alva's dad shared the same birthday? That's kind of cool. So we did that and just sat around, didn't do much. And now tonight we're bringing you an actual full show with a lot of great information, some things I've been working on since the end of last week, and a couple different things. It's a weird period. Like sometimes, it's feast or famine in politics. We have a lot that we are working on, and we have a lot that's coming up. However, sometimes it goes in weird patterns, and so we have some things that we're working on, but we're not really at a point where we can divulge some of those. So I'm letting you guys know now, if you're interested in Muncie and Delaware County politics, specifically Republican. I mean, everybody's like, oh, yeah, what are you talking about? That's all it is, because there are no Democrats really anymore in Indiana, apparently anywhere. But if you're specifically interested in finding out the internals of a lot of issues that have been going on, we are coming to a point where I think some really big things are going to be happening in about the next month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, maybe. But it's really just kind of a hurry up and wait. A couple things have to fall into place. So I'm just letting you know, if you're watching this either live as we're sitting here watching this at 9:09 p.m. Eastern on Monday, March 24th, 2025. And if you are live, thank you for being here. Or if you're watching this in the future via replay and you're interested in learning some of the bigger, deeper, darker secrets, specifically as it relates to Delaware County government, then you're going to want to subscribe to the show if you haven't, or click the bell. Do that so that you can get notified when we go live, because that's going to be important, so that you can either watch live or remember to watch at some point in the future. So you'll want to do that. Subscribe, doesn't cost you anything. Click the bell so you get notified when we go live. If you would, we would greatly appreciate you hitting that like button. And if you want to communicate with us over here live or down here, if you're watching in the future, that would be great. Above all else, share the show with everyone you know. If you want to interact with us throughout the day, you want to communicate with us, you can contact us at the studio line at our email addresses, and there are our social media links there as well, so you can find all of that there. Look below, and we would love for you to interact with us throughout the day elsewhere. All right, so first up, ladies and gentlemen, the kind of a long drawn out situation kind of unfolded this morning, and something that I'm surprised. Well, they did try to push and fight for earlier on, I guess, in a different way. I don't really know. Right now, spring break. So a lot of you, dealing with children, it's either you're on spring break this week or you will be next week, or whatever's going on there. And so because of that, a lot of the government folks are taking this week, next week off. And so it's kind of funky with all of that. And so this morning, I was kind of shocked that we got a press release at about 8 o'clock this morning. Straight away, I received a press release from the city of Muncie. And I was kind of shocked by this. Here's the press release. For immediate release, City of Muncie gains site control of former Concannon's bakery property. I was kind of shocked by this because, number one, the communications director is out this week, and I'm not saying anything that I shouldn't, or not talking out of school, because the posts have been made on social media, so it's not like something I'm saying it's like, ooh, I shouldn't be saying. But I was just kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting anything from the city in the way of press releases this week, just because of that. So I was kind of shocked when we saw this. Muncie, Indiana, March 24th. Now, listen, if you have not actually seen this release, I've titled this breaking news, but it's not breaking because it's been out for over 12 hours now. But I want you to listen to this as I read it to you, and listen to what's there and listen to what's missing. Okay. Mayor Dan Ridenour is pleased to announce that the city has gained site control of the former Concannon's bakery property located on Walnut Street in downtown Muncie. This marks an important step forward in ensuring that the development of the property reflects the interests and needs of the community. This decision comes after a period of significant concern from the city and citizens regarding potential private sale of property. Now, I find that to be very misleading when it says that, because what they're talking about, obviously, is Concannon, the old Concannon shop there at the intersection of Walnut and Columbus, right in just north of the heart of downtown, right there, catty corner from Central High School. And it's interesting when it says this decision comes after a period of significant concern from the city and citizens regarding the potential private sale of the property. So I want to be clear. The Ridenour administration was pushing the private sale, which I'm happy with. We should all be looking for private sale. We don't want, or we shouldn't want, the government buying up just pieces of property throughout the city. That's not something that they should be doing or that we want doing. The more property that's on the tax rolls, the better for us. It makes it better for us. They've now taken this pretty significant area of, right near north downtown area off the tax rolls, and so that's not a good thing. So we should always want private entities trading, buying, selling, doing whatever in the world. So for the city to be, excited that a private situation, a private deal is happening, is not necessarily a bad thing. What's interesting is they were going to turn this bakery into a gas station, and there were a lot of people that were upset about the fact that they were going to turn it into a gas station. Okay. And so they were not happy that there were people that were not happy that this area would be a gas station for a couple of reasons. There were people from the school officials that were not happy with this being a gas station because of the items that would be sold, tobacco, maybe alcohol, things like that would be sold there. So the school, and that was really led by city councilor Rose Selvey. Rose Selvey was a very big, active voice in saying that should not be a gas station. Make it a restaurant, make it housing, make it an office building, make it anything that you want, but don't make this a gas station where we're going to be selling tobacco, in eyesight of the high school. But it wasn't just City Councilor Rose Selvey. There were people within the neighborhood that did not want it to be a gas station. The newly built YMCA. Is it Y? I guess it's YMCA. The newly built YMCA did not want this location to be a gas station, and there's not a lot of people that's talking about that. There are not many people that are talking about the fact that the Y, which Dan Ridenour helped push there, didn't want the gas station across the street. So that's interesting. And the reason I bring this up is because there were several people from the mayor's administration that were very outspoken about the fact that Rose Selvey did not want this location to be a gas station. And of course, when we're talking about people from the mayor's administration being outspoken, well, of course, we're talking about the Wagleys, Shireen and Matt Wagley. They tend to be some of the most outspoken people in city government. And so they were doing a lot of social media posting and really came after Rose Selvey extremely hard. because of her work trying to say, hey, like I'm okay with them putting anything here. I just don't want it to be a gas station. And Roe was, right, wrong, or indifferent. Like I understand where Roe was coming from, and I don't fault her for this. On March 17th, a couple days before March 17th, it would have been the week before, Roe put an editorial in the paper. And Roe's editorial was kind of overlooked, but she posted it on her social media. And the editorial was said, as a Muncie City Councilwoman, I take great pride in the progress of our city and the progress that the city has made in revitalizing our downtown and creating more livable, walkable community. We have worked tirelessly to support smart growth and encourage the development that benefits our residents. That's why I must speak out against a proposal that threatens to undermine these efforts, the construction of a gas station directly in front of the high school and near downtown Muncie. This project raises serious concerns, including student safety, increased traffic congestion, and the potential disruption of downtown revitalization efforts. While I fully support responsible development, including the idea of a restaurant at this location, a gas station is simply the wrong fit for our community's future. A gas station at a high school, a safety concern we can't ignore. Placing a gas station in front of a high school is a risk to student safety, even without the sale of tobacco, which is prohibited within 1,000 feet of a school under Indiana state law. Gas stations bring dangers that cannot be overlooked. Traffic hazards, high school students, many of them first-time drivers, will now have to navigate increased congestion and the constant flow of vehicles turning in and out of the gas station. This is unnecessary risk. Pedestrian safety, many students walk to and from school. Increased vehicle traffic in this area will only put them in more harm's way. Environmental risks, gas stations come with potential for fuel spills, air pollution, and groundwater contamination. These hazards should never be introduced so close to a school. Downtown redevelopment at risk. For the past 4 years, Muncie has made great strides in bringing life back to the downtown area. We have invested in our businesses, improved infrastructure, and encouraged a city environment that is inviting, vibrant, and pedestrian-friendly. A gas station at this location directly conflicts with those efforts. Gas stations do not support walkability. The presence of a gas station shifts the area's focus from community engagement to vehicle-focused commerce use. It will lower property values. In the introduction of gas station at this location could discourage investment in surrounding businesses and residents. Traffic congestion will get worse. The gas station would be situated at a busy intersection just blocks away from downtown, the high school, and the newly built YMCA. The result, increased traffic jams and greater frustrations for residents. A restaurant, yes. A gas station, no. The developers have proposed a restaurant as part of this project and are already applying for a 3-way liquor license through the Riverfront District Ordinance. However, there are no concrete plans for what type of restaurant will be built. This is a major concern because the Riverfront District does not grant liquor license to just any restaurant. The ordinance specifies that the restaurant must provide a unique dining and cultural experience that enhances the downtown Muncie environment. It is not intended for chain restaurants or businesses that fail to contribute something distinct to the community. No clear business model. The developers have no specific concept or plan of restaurant that meets the qualifications for a 3-way liquor license. Applying for a liquor license without a defined business plan is presumptuous and does not align with the ordinance intent. Liquor licenses are not meant for chains. The Riverfront District liquor license is not meant for chain restaurants that do not offer distinct cultural or dining experience. If this project includes a generic corporate-style restaurant, it should not qualify for the license. Smart development is key. I welcome the idea of a restaurant in this space, one that meets city standards and enhances the community, but a gas station simply is not the right choice. Muncie deserves better. This decision is bigger than one gas station. It is about the kind of city that we want to live in. Do we continue investing in smart, thoughtful, growth that protects our students, supports downtown businesses, and encourage sustainable development? Or do we allow short-term commercial interest to dictate our future at the expense of safety and long-term progress? I urge the Metropolitan Planning Commission to reject the gas station proposal while remaining open to the responsible development. Muncie deserves a thriving downtown, safer streets, and future built on smart decision, not a project that threatens to undo our hard work. Let's make the right choice for Muncie. Let's keep our students safe and our downtown strong and our community moving forward. Now, what I have to say about this are, I have to say this, okay? The thing is, I get what you're saying, Kate, saying I don't understand the gas stations are dangerous argument. I mean, I understand the argument of saying that it will increase traffic congestion to that corner. If you're not from Muncie, it's hard to understand how congested this area gets. It's already a very congested area, not to mention the fact that they've now built this Y, which is a beautiful building. It's a wonderful building, but it was absolutely built in the wrong location. And so that in and of itself is going to make the congestion even worse, specifically in the mornings and in the afternoons. I think as rush hour traffic and kids getting out of school and sporting events coming into the school and different things happening, it's going to make it more of a mess. And I could see putting a business where it's going to be short term, people coming and going frequently, I think could make that. I could see that being more dangerous for walkers, for first time drivers, whatever. I can see that. What I thought was interesting about this is just the opinion of a city councilor, which, right, wrong, or indifferent, agree or disagree. I appreciate her putting this out, but then instantly she's attacked by the Wegleys. And so it's just crazy to me that it's just interesting to me that the Wagleys instantly just come in for the attack because obviously the city was pushing this. So I find it odd in this press release here where it says the decision comes after a period of significant concern from the city and citizens regarding the potential private sale of the property. I just don't believe that the city was specifically concerned with this. I think that's interesting. So moving on here, it says, recognizing the importance of preserving the character of downtown Muncie and aligning development with community values. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The Muncie Redevelopment Commission, MRC, took action to secure the site when the property became available. Although, now listen here, although the initial efforts of the MRC to acquire the property were unsuccessful, a deal between the property sellers and the proposed buyers has now been terminated. So private is out, and all BZA applications related to the development have been officially withdrawn. Okay? Then it immediately goes into saying, with the city now in control of the site, Muncie officials are committed to reshaping a development strategy that aligns with the goals of the downtown corridor. So we've missed something in here. In this statement, we've missed who bought it. How was it purchased? With what funds from what account? And I understand that there are some out there that feel like, well, it doesn't matter. We as citizens don't need to know this. But that's exactly incorrect. Because as Stumblefoot said, it doesn't matter who bought it. MRC buys it. Ridenauer buys it with edit money. They buy it with money from the general fund. They buy it with opioid settlement money or ARP money or whatever. However they twist and pull or whatever. It's all taxpayer money. But it's important for citizens to understand and keep an eye on these things and to help keep the government accountable. So it's interesting, but reading this as someone who's reading this now, I've read this for the 5th time. It looks to me as though the initial project, the initial attempts from the MRC were not good, but now like later attempts did turn out because the private deal fell through. So it goes on. With the city now in control, the Muncie officials are committed to shaping a development strategy that aligns with the goals of the downtown corridor. The city plans to partner with local stakeholders to create a vision that enhances the vitality of the area while serving the best interests of the residents and visitors alike. Securing site control of this property is a crucial step in ensuring any future development contributes to the long-term success of the vibrancy of our downtown, said Mayor Dan Ridenauer. We are excited about the potential this site holds and look forward to working with the community to create a development plan that reflects Muncie's vision of the future. The city of Muncie is committed to continuing to engage with residents, local businesses, and stakeholders to ensure that any future development aligns with the needs of the community and supports the ongoing revitalization of the downtown Muncie. So I immediately post this to my social media, and it's put forward. Everything, is running smoothly. I think everything's okay. No issue, no harm, no foul. And then almost instantly after posting it, I receive a message from the city of Muncie, something that has not happened. Well, something that has not happened since Amber has been at City Hall. Amber generally does not interact with me on social media. I think in an effort to attempt to be careful so that it's not seen as though she's giving me information, which she basically doesn't. Okay, so I thought that to be very odd. And then I looked at the time and I thought that to be odd too, because I knew that she's out with children on vacation. So I thought something's up with this. Something doesn't seem, I don't know, something didn't seem right here. Because my original post had posted exactly what I found. I shared that picture that you guys just saw of that white press release. And I said, the MRC helped get this. Let's see exactly. Going back and looking at my edit history, it says the Muncie Redevelopment Commission took action to secure the site when the property became available after private deal fell through. I'm not the only person that wrote that. Doug Walker from the Star Press also wrote the same thing. Doug Walker from the Star Press received this press release at the same time that I did and put out an original article about 20 minutes after I did, and he put the exact same information. He basically put that the MRC had helped to get this. And I almost instantly received that communications from the city of Muncie, and the communications said from the city of Muncie, the MRC did not purchase this property. The mayor did from edit funds. The MRC attempted to purchase the property several months ago, and the seller turned down the offer. Now, that's odd to me because, to my understanding, the MRC did not attempt to buy this. I was under the impression that the MRC voted down going to the seller with an offer. That's the whole reason that Rose Selvey went after Andrew Dale in that council meeting back in January or February. I think January, when she went after Andrew Dale. Everybody remember when Rose Selvey went after Andrew Dale? Well, the reason for that is she was upset that they didn't attempt to do something with this building. And Andrew Dale at the time said, I thought that it would be better for this to be handled in private sector, which I agreed with. So I found that odd. So I immediately wrote back to the city of Muncie. Interesting. Okay. And then I said, well, how much did the mayor pay? That's interesting because I'm interested in how much the mayor paid. I then said, it makes it seem a bit confusing as the mayor and the edit monies are never mentioned in this press release. So that was kind of odd. The city of Muncie then shot back $650,000. Okay, listen, I'm going to be honest. That's a great buy. The property was valued higher than that. The seller was selling the property. I think they had it listed for $800,000 or $850,000. So the fact that the city got this for $650,000 is a great purchase. And they paid it from edit money. That's exactly what edit money should be going for. Things like this. Edit money shouldn't do all of the other dumb shit that Ridenour does with it. This is what Ridenour should be doing. The fact that he's done all the other craziness is why so many people are now going after him for this. I honestly am not going after him. I support this purchase. In this way, we saved that, and that's not normally Ridenour's MO. Ridenour's normally like, well, you're asking $800,000. Well, by golly, why don't we pay you $200,000? No, excuse me, $200,000 over is what I mean. Why don't we pay you $200,000 over asking? Is generally what Ridenour says. Ridenour normally doesn't get the deal. The reason that Ridenour was able to get this for $650,000 is because of everything going on in the private sale, and because it was going to the zoning, the planning and all of that. Ridenour knew that the deal was for $650,000. Okay. And so that's very interesting. That is very, very interesting why that happened. And I'm going to get to Tweety Bird's I'm going to get to Tweety Bird's comments in 1 second. I see you put them up there, and those are all great questions. No. So let's get back just 1 second, everyone, because I see where you guys are going with this. So the city of Muncie's answering this, and it's not Amber. It's Shireen Wagley who's doing all of this. Basically, what's happening. Shireen Wagley put out the press release statement. The press release statement was apparently readied last week, and Shireen is putting all this out. Shireen's the one that's responding to everybody, and the way that Shireen is, the way that I originally knew that Shireen was responding was when I said this makes seem a bit confusing, as the mayor and edit monies are never mentioned. The next response I got from the city of Muncie, under the city of Muncie, was HMMMM. So, says MRC was unsuccessful. Now, as spicy and catty as Amber can get, she'll say and do a lot of things under her own name. I've never seen Amber say, under the city's post. Like, that's very much a Shireen thing. Amber is very capable of getting out of control in the Amber way under her own name, or doing things that maybe she shouldn't do under her name. I haven't seen that so much under the city of Muncie's post. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is Shireen Wegley. And I was confirmed that this was Shireen Wegley later in the day. I was able to get confirmation that it was Shireen that had been talking to me, and yada, yada, yada. So what's interesting to me here is another individual actually shares the Star Press article and says, the article says that the MRC paid $650,000, and Shireen almost instantly says, don't know where this article is, but this article is incorrect. And it's like, okay, well, I fired back, Shireen, are you being purposefully obtuse? The person questioning this shared screenshot from the Star Press is exactly where it's at. That's what he's talking about. I'm sharing it again below. The reason the Star Press wrote it like that's because the same reason I originally did, because of how you guys put it out. It's okay for you guys to say, whoops, we maybe weren't as clear on this one as we are normally. But you guys running around and acting like we're all idiots because we couldn't deduce from the press release that Dan made a purchase with edit money is diabolical. The Star Press release mentions nothing about edit or the mayor being in on any of the attempts. Wild work from the third floor yet again. And of course, the city of Muncie didn't respond back. I said, if you want some mighty fine deduction work, I was able to deduce from the post earlier that said, says MRC was unsuccessful, that it was you, Shireen, commenting as the city and not Amber, because even for all of Amber's spiciness on social media, only Shireen would post under the city of Muncie's page. In the end, my deduction was correct. Elementary, my dear Wegley. And of course, she has not responded, which I think is interesting. Jackie Fisher asks a very good question. When did the MRC make the offer to purchase? I don't recall that either. Jackie says, I seem to remember at a previous MRC board meeting that there was discussion about the Concannons property, but that the MRC voted not to get involved and preferred the private sector handle the purchase dealings with the property owner. So I think that's very good questioning. Of course, we haven't got answers to that. I am going to reach out to Andrew Dale to kind of find out what's going on there and see what's going on. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that Shireen was done commenting, but I guess while the Amber's away, the Wegley will play. I don't really understand what's going on there. And like Stumblefoot said in his comment up there, don't get excited. Dan will end up selling it for $1. That's always the way that he can make this deal very stupid. He can always, he's done a great job in purchasing this property for $650, but when he turns around and sells it for $300, it's like, maybe that wasn't really the best thing that you could have done there. Okay, so I want to say, let me go back up here really quickly to Tweety Bird and see some of these comments here, because some of these comments are very good. and I do want to comment about this. So I like that Kate said, so the city can still post on people's posts, but the people cannot post on the city's post. A couple people made that same argument. And again, that's something that, I think we should fight for until Dan is either out of office or they put the comments back on the city's page. I still think that's a horrible deal. Tweety Bird said, how does the city have any say in a sale between business owners and a buyer? Okay, this is a really good question. Okay, so number one, they don't exactly, but then they do at the same time. So you got to think of this a little bit differently. This is not the same thing as you, Tweety Bird, selling your house and me, Kristopher Bilbrey, coming and offering you money, or going to your realtor, or having my realtor contact your realtor and us doing a deal. What's going on in this project originally with the two private buyer and seller was that a seller was offering a property and a buyer wanted it, and they were working a deal. And at the same time, the buyer was wanting to change the zoning. So anytime you want to do something like that, where you have a request for zoning, now you're getting the government involved. So differently than when I just am coming to buy your house, or you're coming to buy my house, there's nothing really there. When I'm coming to buy your house and I want to open up a recording studio out back, or I want to open up a mechanic shop, or I want to open up, a restaurant, and I'm going to change the zoning. Now I have to go to the government and request this. Okay. So I'll tell you, the other thing is, when this all first was going, in my opinion, the Planning Commission, I think, was on board for changing the zoning and doing everything that needed to be done and letting this sale go through. However, so many people got involved and started saying, wait a minute, we don't want this here. And they were people with very loud voices and people with lots of impact. There were a lot of citizens that got involved and wrote letters. The president of the YMCA wrote a letter against this. Rose Selvey was involved, because what they were saying is, hey, private sell to private buyer, private seller to private buyer, do whatever you want to do here, but don't change the zoning. We do not want a gas station here. So I'm all for the private sector being in and being involved and doing whatever they need to do here and whatever. But I wasn't in favor of a gas station being here. From this area, there are, I think the documentation said there are 6 other gas stations within 1 mile of this location. Within 1 mile, we're not hurting for a gas station right here. You know what I would love to see there? I'd love to see a restaurant. I would love to see a nice sit-down restaurant where there's parking. We have some restaurants downtown. The Lahodi's Chop House and Vera Mae's, but those are pain in the ass restaurants to get into, to park and do all of that. So that's all very difficult. There's an area there for parking, and you could have a really nice restaurant. And Forgive me, I don't mean like Applebee's. I hate Applebee's, first off. Okay. But imagine a building the size of Applebee's, something that's a large building there that has parking in the outside around, in between that and the Social Security office, where people can go and park and go in and eat and whatever. Like, that would be a great location for something like that. Okay. And so, hey, I was a member of Dan's camp. When do I get cut in for that stuff? I went up there. So, Tweetbird, that's that. I mean, as far as the city having say in it, like, they don't specifically have say, but the zoning board would have a say in whether or not the zoning is changed there. Okay. The whole buildup of the gas station and the, oh no, not a gas station. Then Dan the man swoops in to save the day. Cat, that's very good. That's very good. Very good response. Let's see here. Did the city intervene in some way to stop the sale to? No. So that's the other thing. So what you have to understand here is Ridenour wanted the deal to go through. Ridenour and his crew were pushing, and when I say Ridenour and his crew, of course I'm talking about the Dan Addicts. I'm talking about these people right here. These people right here, they wanted the sale to go through, and they were going and bashing anybody that didn't want that sale to go through. So they were that was a big thing. Kate says, but why is it the government's job? But why it is government's job to buy private property? Why isn't it? Why is it? I mean, it's not. Like, that's always a tricky thing. There's a lot of people here that are arguing with Dan, saying, look, it's just one more way that Dan's getting in the real estate business. I can remember the person that was the head of the IHCDA down in Indianapolis one time, talking to the mayor of Winchester and saying, the point of being a mayor is not to become a landlord. And I always thought that's a really good statement. But it seems like Ridenour, that's his wildest dream, is to be like this mayor landlord dude. Like, I'm convinced that he would much rather have been economic development. Okay. He would much rather have been economic development director for someone else being mayor than he actually, I'm convinced that that's what he had his eye on. I don't know why, because he's not good at it. He sucks at it, but that's what is. No, I was not allowed in the circle jerk, drum circle, kumbaya moments at Dan camp. That's true. I did not get to, get in on any of the trust falls or any of the naked charades, nor did I get in on any of this. I was left out of all of this. So that's one thing I can say that sadly I missed out on. Okay, moving on from there. Let me see here. What do we have here in the comments? Because there were a couple good ones. Producer Kate said Amber gets spicy under her own name. She remains professional under the city. I don't necessarily even know that I would go that far. I would say there have been times that she's maybe got a little out of control under the city's page. But the difference is Amber fights like Amber on her page and on the city's page. Shireen fights like a 3-year-old. Shireen's like, no, I didn't, poo-poo head. You can always tell the difference between Shireen and someone else, because Shireen is always like gets real butthurt with everything that she does. So, that's interesting. I do agree. Going back, Stumblefoot thought that Dan took away Wakely's keyboard privileges. I don't know. That's really strange. Strings attached versus no strings attached. Forgot they wanted change zoning. YMCA should buy it and turn it into a daycare for the community. Look, that would be something. That would be something very, very cool too. I don't have an issue with that. Conspiracy time. Do you think the case against Mr. Concannon being settled out of court had anything to do with the shift buyers? No, I don't think it. I don't, because first of all, you're talking about, for that conspiracy to really be a work, it would make sense if the purchase was happening maybe in the county, because it's the courts. The courts are quote unquote a county thing. Really, they're a state thing. So it's the prosecutors, that would be involved with that. And wait a minute. Are we was it a criminal case or was it a civil case? Because when we're talking about criminal, nothing criminally is settled out of court. That doesn't seem, when we're saying settled out of court, to me, that is very much a civil statement. So you mean it was dismissed? Let's go to the old my case and look up on this and see. Was it a domestic battery? Was it a domestic battery by chance? Does anybody know? Because I got the impression that it was, but I don't want to. No, Amy, that's not correct. You mean they are settled? They are settled by plea agreement. They're not. The term settled out of court is a very specific statement that you are making. Plea agreements are handled in and by and in front of the court, meaning you can go in and get the plea agreement, the filing, and everything that happened in court. When something settles out of court, you can't get anything on it. No, that is not accurate. When plea deal, a plea, everything with a plea deal is handled in court. Every bit of that is handled in court. When someone says the words "we settled out of court," it means it's Clint. Though I switched. I don't know what that means. It's Clint, though. I switched to flip phone, hence radio silence. I don't know what you mean by that. Did you mean that here? Or did you post that someplace else by accident? So that's the reason I'm wondering. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's the bot. I get it. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Well, hello and welcome back. I'm surprised that you made it through our bot detection. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I definitely get what you're saying there. They should be handled differently. My question is, what's his first name? I can't place his first name off the top of my head. Can somebody post what it is? I'm looking this up in my case. Jesus, what? It's Bill, it's Sam. Are you sure? I didn't think that's what it was. I don't think it was. No, there's Mike. That's what I thought it was. Thought it was Michael. You idiots. Everybody shout a different name. That helps. Yeah, okay. So it looks like we're dealing with, it was domestic battery. State of Indiana versus Michael Timothy Concannon. And give me a second here. I'll pull her up on the screen, share this tab instead. Lower up here so we can all see. Okay, State of Indiana versus Michael Timothy Concannon. 18C05, so it was in Circuit Court 5. It happened in September of 2024. And it was a level 6 felony, domestic battery resulting in moderate bodily injury, intimidation, threat to commit forcible felony. Okay. Who's the attorney filing for him? Interested in that. Kelly Bryan was his attorney. Initial hearing canceled. Motion for continuance. Canceled. Agreed resolution. Canceled. Interesting. Interesting. So, who in the hell is this? Eric Overpeck. Man, to my knowledge, 20 years ago, you couldn't get on pretrial diversion for domestic battery. Hold on a second. Stand by. Stand by. We will phone a friend here. Hold on. Hey. To your knowledge, could you get on diversion deferral for domestic battery? First time offender? Okay. Sure. All right. Okay. See how we did that? We phoned a friend. All right, I was wrong. You can do it for domestic battery. So I guess this is some kind of it's a diversion program as part of a plea. So diversion isn't a plea deal in so much as diversion is supposed to be for a first of all, here's the funny thing. So diversion is supposed to be for a first time offender. However, they can also let second and third time offenders on. They do it all the time. They just waive it. But if you're a first time offender, you can do a diversion program. And for a felony, you sign for a year and you say, if I get in trouble, we're going to divert this prosecution and I'm going to do these, like anger management classes, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to pay this amount of money, and I'm going to do this and this and this. And if I stay out of trouble for a year, then it goes away. Now, what Tweety Bird's saying is, I was wondering how you get domestic violence canceled unless the victim chooses to drop it, and that's not exactly true. That doesn't happen anymore. That's a like the 80s and the 90s and earlier, 90s and the 80s and earlier. Now, the victim does not get to drop. You can't. Gone are the days of bang zoom straight to the moon, and I go to jail on Friday night, and Alice goes in and says, hey, I love him, he didn't mean it, it was my fault, I got in the way of his fist or whatever, I'm dropping the charge. Because it's the victim doesn't file the charges, it's the state that files the charges, yada yada yada. All that doesn't really matter. The point is, that you have to jump through a shit ton of hoops for that to happen. That all being said, this is interesting. No, I do not think this has anything to do with the city shit. First of all, the city and the county don't get on. Like there's no like love loss, or no, that's not what I'm saying. Wrong phrase. There's no like, they don't scratch each other's back this way. That doesn't work that way so much. So what? So that it's a little bit of buying, but they are joining together to do that pay people to live here thing. Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, I think that's very much a Dan and Brand thing. Dan and Brand pairing together like Dan and Brand would. I think that's a good thing. Anyways, that being said, I don't think that this has anything to do with the land sale or whatever. So good on them. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked and answered, and hopefully we will get to the bottom of this here soon. Okay, moving on. Timing is, I get it. I mean, shit has to roll up. Listen, in this kind of a case, listen, I think it's probably like, so this incident happened in September of last year. And, if you want any kind of conspiracy theory, I would say because he's got money, because both the suspect and the victim in this case have money, and I would say they got this resolved faster than most people would. But this is about how long something like this should take. Things drag out so long in court anymore. It's ridiculous. You commit battery, domestic battery, you commit a low-level felony in September, and you should be able to go and see some kind of resolution by February, March. So this is about what I would think, but whatever, we'll see. I'm not done digging on this. So, okay. Moving on from here. The title of this, Who Are the Good Guys? I mean, I guess we can tag this in. This was just some breaking news that came onto this, but who are the good guys? It's not MRC. MRC didn't buy this. Like, they let this go, or they tried to. I don't know. We're going to have to get the answer on that, which is really strange here, because Shireen Wegley, good evening, MLM Warrior, because Shireen Wegley was the one that was doing a lot of the communicating here. And that's really strange, because what do we know about her? We know that Shireen is on the MRC. Okay, hold on. I gotta figure out what Space Cat's talking about. What do you mean it's not Shireen either? What do you mean by that? Why are you saying that? While I'm waiting for Space Cat to respond, I'll finish in the comment that I was going to say. No. No. Okay. Yeah. No, Shireen is not a good guy here. Absolutely. You are correct. She's not the good guy here. No, not at all. Not ever. I guess it's interesting because Shireen, this thing is saying that MRC tried to purchase and they failed through on the purchase. It wasn't accepted. And even when I first read that, I was standing there reading that for my very first thing this morning. It was the very first thing I did. And I'm like, wait a minute. They didn't try to purchase it. They voted to not be involved. And then the very next thing I did after I made the post, I saw that Jackie Fisher commented the exact same thing that my brain was thinking. I was thinking, they didn't try to purchase this. They voted to not be involved. And then Jackie said that same thing, and Jackie and I hadn't talked at that point. So I'm like, what's going on here? But it's weird because it's Shireen doing this stuff, and Shireen is on the MRC. So see you, Alva. Good night, brother. Does Shireen not have a memory of this? That's very, very strange. I don't know. Time will tell. Okay. Space Cat. That's he always does that, right? That's hilarious. So next up on our little deal here. I'm sorry that this is sideways. I don't know why it's sideways. I don't know if it's Catherine recorded this or someone else. Okay. But I want you guys to listen to this. And how this makes me irate, okay? So this does not have anything to do with Muncie. Okay. Yeah, I would be cool with that. I would be cool with that, Bree. This has to do with this is the town of Lapel. And I want you to listen to this gentleman talking. I'm going to try to get this guy on the show. And I want you to listen to this. This pisses me off so much. Okay, and I'm sorry that this is sideways. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters what's being said more than anything. So let's take a listen.
But it will be at our next meeting.
Yeah, your next regular. Joe's already contacted me.
Very good.
Next, under unfinished business, Greg Weaver, Montgomery Farms.
Just kind of a refresher. I was here, I think, in April and October about some issues just following your.
I can't hear it. Damn it. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Man. All right. I will edit this. I hate this because I don't want to change. Okay. I want you guys to be able to hear this, and I want to be able to talk about this. This is about a 10-minute, 15-minute conversation between this older gentleman here at the podium, a citizen, and this prick right here, who is like a 24-year-old attorney named Evan McMullen. And I want to be able to play this. So what I'm going to have to do is I listened to it on my phone and I didn't know it was that low. So I'll pull it off and I'll do the thing where I bump the audio and we'll get it played, because I want you guys to be able to hear this. And I want you guys, and what I'll do is I'll put it together with the October video so we can play it all at once. But this is just a continuation of these elected officials being able or feeling like they are, it's okay for them to talk to people the way they see fit or whatever. It's absolutely so gross. All right, so we will delay this one for the time being. But we're going to kick over to this, and I'll play this one. This one you'll definitely be able to hear. Now, listen, Finch, that's the thing, right? Because they don't want you to be able to hear it. They don't want to be able to live stream the shit. They don't want to. And listen, if all of these governments don't believe that I'm going to be single-handedly just going around, and I think that's going to be the thing. Come July, we're going to take a month off and not do actual shows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a map, and I'm going to just audit every city council, town council, county commissioner, county council, and just make sure that all of their shit, I don't care about video. I honestly don't care about video, but you have to be. Is that a dog? Did you have a dog under your arm? Oh no. Okay. That was weird. I thought I saw a little head and then a tail, but that was strange. Okay. Sorry. That was Kate I was talking to down in the duck. Because you're right. They do it on purpose. It's complete bullshit. All right, so moving on to our next jerk of the day. Yeah, it's a fuzzy sweater. That makes sense. I want everybody to watch this, okay? So this is a video of a bunch of citizens getting together in Fort Wayne, and they want to have a town hall with Jim Banks. All right. You know him. You love him. United States Senator Jim Banks. And listen to me. It could be it could be Todd Young. It could be Jim Banks. It could be J.D. Prescott. It could be Scott Alexander. These people are all the same. You know, normally when you say that's like a people don't like that because that's like racist, you know? Like, you know, when you say, oh, they all look alike, they all seem as like. First of all, they all do look alike. I don't understand it. One dick elected official looks just like the rest of them. Okay? So I don't understand what the deal is with that. Maybe, you know, I don't know. But and weird. Every one of these things does have to do with donuts tonight. That's freaky. I am hungry. I have not ate. So maybe that's why. But okay, the first thing is Tweety Bird still here? These are Tweety Bird's people. All right. Listen, the majority of the people that you're going to hear from in this video are Democrat or liberal or left-leaning. Some of them are probably way whacked out. I don't really know. We don't agree politically on the same thing, but I back every single one of them in this video. So I want you guys to watch this and listen to how this was put forward. Okay. First of all, you have to, I want you to understand how this was put forward. This was put forward in such a way that Jim Banks, first of all, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show it to you like this. So this is what it looks like. Okay. Look at this. This is on Jim Banks. Like, I thought that this would be on some kind of leftists page. And they were being like, look at this asshole. But no. This is on his own page. Senator Jim Banks says, the invisible Democrat anti-Trump / Banks. Ooh, so he's putting himself in the same category as Trump. That's comical. I love when they always do that. The invisible Democrat anti-Trump Banks group held a town hall yesterday. Seemed like they were really angry. So I sent my favorite donuts, hoping to lighten the mood. You won't want to miss what happens next. Like, he literally thinks that this is a joke. Okay? Now, I want you to see how funny this joke is. All right? I want you to see how funny this... I could definitely use a tiger tail right now. That would be freaking amazing. Okay? Now, I want you to watch how funny this is. Funny, haha, how us conservatives get over on these whacking lunatic, whacked out liberals. Okay? Watch this. Delivering donuts to Dem Town Hall. Okay? Courtesy of Senator Banks. And it's funny, they misspelled taxpayers. Okay? They misspelled. What the hell? We about had a freak out. We about had to shut down the show like that one spider video. We about just had a freak out, but we are okay because it was just a stink bug. Hold on. I just about died. I thought the only thing worse than a spider is a centipede. And I literally thought it was a centipede about that long that dropped off the computer because I saw it, but it was a stink bug, and stink bugs are okay. I don't get nearly as weirded out by them. Let me try to collect them here. Oh, damn it. All right, I dropped him. Okay, here we go. Not if they get on me first and kill me. All right, here we go.
Hey, folks, we got
some donuts here.
Donuts here, courtesy of Senator Jim Banks.
if you want to come get some. Oh, don't do that. I'll ruin them. There's some good ones here.
Because he doesn't have this wherewithal to show up and see us in person.
Also, just to be fair, because I said that Jim Banks and all of them look alike, why do all of the Democrats look alike too? Like, literally, this could be Delaware County. I mean, like, I know this lady. She's that lady that always shows up with Sue. Like, oh, it's so amazing. Maybe that's because we're all human and we basically all look alike. Maybe that's why it is. And things just happen to work. But yeah, I know this lady. I know I do.
Are those really from Jim Banks?
They are.
They are.
Why isn't he here?
Sorry, you can't make it. Right. We got some donuts here courtesy of Senator Banks.
You don't have to tell
courtesy
me
of Senator Jim Banks, and so he wanted me to come by and
tell him to go to hell.
well, I'll pass it along.
Good.
Enjoy donut.
Are you really from Jim Banks?
I am. Please.
I would like him to listen to me. I have called him, I have raised him, he never listens.
Do you want a chocolate one?
No.
Sorry, I did.
Here in town. He should be here.
We got a lot of extra donuts, please. We got sprinkle.
I'm not going to vote for him either. Guess what? We're done voting for him.
I have one with marshmallows on it.
Yeah. Ready, eat it.
Do you folks like a donut?
No. You should be here. Let them eat their
Let them eat cake. I love whoever yelled that. That's my favorite friend. He's using our money to buy stupid donuts.
Come on in. We have donuts courtesy of Senator Banks.
You want to sit down?
I wouldn't ever the last damn thing. I wouldn't eat them.
His official
Would
page.
you like one?
No, I would not.
Some good ones. Have you had parlor before?
Here so we can talk to him. There's parlor donuts? His constituents are not that important to him?
Got you donuts.
How many years has it been? Yeah, nice.
I don't know. That looks like this one. Well, we'll set that one to the side since you really grabbed it. Oh, so bummer.
We can have it out in the
Can I let one of the folks up top know we have some donuts available? Yeah. Can I let... So we tried to get in there and hand out parlor donuts, but they wouldn't let us in the auditorium, which is unfortunate because we had a lot of donuts for everybody. So apparently they don't want to hear other voices or get donuts from Senator Banks.
What do you mean other voices? No one showed up. You got to show up, bro, to let them hear your voice. What the hell? Who is this idiot? Let's see. Yeah, right. Senator Banks, Senator Young, and Stutzman. So look, here, yeah, parlor donuts are weird. I'll be honest. It's like way too much. Way too much. Like they're gross. I can't do it. I can't do it. So it's weird. Whatever. Anyways, so. Like they put this on like haha, look, this is a funny, we didn't show up but we brought them donuts, and look at those stupid Democrats, they didn't want to eat our donuts. Like, bro, they were there to talk to you, man. They were their constituents. I don't give a shit if they're Democrats or not. And this goes back to my whole thing. If you cannot walk into a room of people that are on the opposite side of you And you can't hold your own if you can't hold your own against people on the opposite side. I have a problem with that. I cannot, I have a hard time respecting elected officials that refuse to show up and speak to people. And yeah, that's the other thing. In the comments, there were a lot of Republicans that were pissed off who were there to speak to him, to have their concerns heard. I can't, yeah, Tweety Bird, it was condescending. I cannot comprehend. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. If you refuse to communicate, I do not want you where you are. Period. That's just it. That's it. How can we tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are if all of these people are not willing to communicate with us? Okay. I don't know. It looks like it's at some kind of a school. I don't understand not talking every chance you can to speak to your constituents, whether they voted for you or not. They are your constituents. Absolutely. Yeah, right. Absolutely. That's exactly the case. You know, I don't know. It's very frustrating. This would have been a perfect opportunity to speak to some people who think differently. Who knows? Maybe some would have changed their minds about the Republican Party. You spent a year in Afghanistan. Certainly you could handle an hour with some Democrats. You know, I think that's an excellent statement. In all, why didn't you go? I don't like hearing that your constituents are reaching out to you and you're not available. Even if they're Democrats, it's an opportunity to raise awareness, change minds, bridge the gap. Just saying. Senator Banks sending donuts to an invisible town hall doesn't lighten the mood. It mocks the democratic process that you've sworn to protect. Those Hoosiers were angry for a reason. Let's see here. So, you know, I just again, and there are a couple of people who are saying though those aren't Republicans, they are paid infiltrators. So, you know what? Maybe some of them are paid. If you can't go and spend an hour debating against the other side, then you're not. If you can't go talk to your constituents who might think differently than you, you don't have what it takes to be in DC fighting against the other side in DC. I want to send strong people to Washington, D.C. And if you can't take on some constituents that might have differing opinions than what you have, I don't know that you have the ability to take on the folks in D.C. And I've got a serious issue with that. That's nuts. So I wanted to show that, and it really sucks because it kind of goes along with the thing from Lapel, but the Lapel thing is unhearable. So we'll have to watch that I'll try to get that. I'll try to get it up this week. and we'll go from there. But it's so frustrating. Micah called me this evening. Micah Beckwith called me this evening, and I unfortunately was unable to get the phone call. We've texted, and I'm going to hopefully speak with him tomorrow and find out what the deal is. I'm interested in what he is wanting to talk about. I think it might very well be the fact that what was this? Let me go back and make sure. Kate shared something earlier. Oh yeah, no, I think it might be that Jim Banks deal. I think it might be this actual Jim Banks deal. So that's funny because Kate shared the comments and told us to go in and read the comments. And in one of the because it happened shortly after this. So I'll share this with you so you can see this. This might be why he called. So Kate said, read the comments. And in one of these comments, Beckwith was in here and said, amazing. And so there were people in here that were saying, to Beckwith, are you seriously getting a kick out of your unhappy constituents using the constitutional right to assemble because they are concerned about the direction their county's taken or their country's taken? Blah, 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 blah. To Beckwith, a couple people had said, let's see here. This person said, Micah Beckwith, not surprised to see you chime in, cut from the same cloth. Someone said, seriously, have you no check in your spirit about this? Your response is just as heartbreaking to me as this video. I didn't expect this from brothers in Christ. This makes me sad. You're our leaders, chosen by God for a purpose and elected by the Hoosiers of the state. This isn't how to treat the people you lead and represent. Beckwith for Indiana. Someone else says, more like pathetic. The people want to hear from our representatives, including Senator Banks. Another individual said, it sounds more like people want to lecture him on why he's a conservative. Okay, that may be so. Those would probably be people on the other side. And if that's the case, Banks should be able to hold his own against that. Okay. Someone said, are you commenting as a Christian pastor, as a lieutenant governor? We should all attend New Life Church Town Hall in Noblesville Tuesday, the 25th, 6 to 8, as he shows the way to MAGA Christianity. Don't know what they're talking about there, really. I guess they're having a town hall. Someone said, for Micah, look, another Nazi. You will find out soon. I don't really know what that is. So I of course I didn't like them calling him a Nazi simply because he said amazing. That's stupid. So I responded back to Micah and I said, hey, I'm not a liberal and I don't think you're a Nazi, but I would like to hear what you think is amazing about this. And so maybe he called me to just tell me, like, I mean, if that's the case, hey, that's cool. That's strange that he wouldn't just be able to text it, but I am interested in hearing what he has to say, if that's why he called me. I was busy when he called, dealing with a thing, but let's see here. Yeah, he called it 7:18. So hopefully we'll talk tomorrow and find out what goes on. I'll keep you posted on what that conversation is about. Tomorrow, I think that we will have So before we wrap up here, I will say this. There are a couple of big things that I am working on, and they're going to wrap some things up that we've been talking about. They should also bring some closure to some things, hopefully, or at least point us in the direction of a better way if people just do what they're supposed to do. There will be more on that soon, hopefully. I have been told that the record request for the Dustin grants, all the grants that Dustin apparently has ever worked on, that is nearing completion. I should be able to get that within the next week, like probably the end of this week or the beginning of next. So we'll be looking forward to that very soon. And then tomorrow, I think Catherine might be on for a couple of updates for things. I have to find out from her exactly. But I will try to work on getting the lapel thing right side up, and I'll boost the audio because I want you guys to hear that for sure. But that's going to do it for tonight. And we will let you guys get back to your lives. I appreciate you tuning in. Please hit the thumb if you haven't. Share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. That is always very, very, very helpful. You see it all up there. Hit the thumb, subscribe, hit the bell, and do all of those things. That would be very fantastic. We will be back here tomorrow night, episode 215 at 9 p.m. tomorrow night, right back here at the same place. And we hope that you tune in then. You guys take care of yourselves. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great day tomorrow, and we will see you back here tomorrow night. Take care. Good night. Goodbye.